KBLA 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Keep following the leader.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss it. There's something wrong with that.
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
One of the most abused passages in the Bible for coercing a spouse into what I would just say is forced sex is 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verses 3 through 5. It says this: the husband must fulfill his duty to his wife, and likewise also the wife to her husband. The wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does, and likewise also the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. Stop depriving one another, Paul says, except by agreement for a time, so that you may devote yourselves to prayer and then come together again, so that Satan will not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. Now, there are a lot of wonderful and humbling truths in that passage. Most of all, we would see this mutual sacrifice of our own moods, attitudes, desires, by both husband and wife. It's really the model of Christ. We're loving our spouse above ourselves. But using this passage today, many husbands and some wives will say, your body doesn't belong to you, you don't have authority over it, and you need to give me what I need and want right now, or else the devil's gonna tempt me and I might sexually sin. Look, this type of threat is manipulative abuse, and it's not at all what Paul the Apostle meant when he wrote under the inspiration of the Holy Spirit. Let's understand this together. First of all, the context of this passage is that there were a number of confusing philosophies that had plagued the Corinthian church specifically, and it resulted in people who wanted to abstain from sex because they were, quote, so devoted to God, which actually makes sense because the Corinthians struggle with spiritual pride. This ascetic view is similar to how the Catholic Church refused to let many priests marry. And instead, Paul is saying, hey, it's okay to focus on spiritual things. And due to that, you may abstain for a short time of fasting and prayer, but then you must come together and be unified in sexual relationship again. Ascetic views on sex are 100% not helpful for Christians. In other words, you're not more spiritual because you don't do it. God made sex a good gift to be enjoyed by one man and one woman in the covenant of marriage. Verse 7 is especially interesting as Paul adds, I say this by concession, not command. Basically, he means this. Listen, if you want to do this, fine. But I'm not even commanding that people take time off from regular sexual relations for fasting and prayer. To summarize this, Dr. Thomas Schreiner says, Paul is not talking about forcing your spouse to have sex if they have a headache, but that abstaining is not some spiritual elite practice like some would have thought. Rather, it's good to mutually come together by agreement and in line with marital duty.
Very interesting take. Quite radical. And you guys already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to mention Krishnamurti. He said something very profound regarding this. He said, we don't use language. Language uses us. Somebody could read that scripture and make it mean something. And if I were to say, well, who wrote that book? And in what year? And what was the original language that it was revealed in? And what's the difference between if it's Aramaic, Galilean, if it's whatever, if it's Greek, like Latin, what did we miss or lose in translation, and how was it maybe possibly mistranslated? We'll get into a pulpit and say, your body, according to Luke, belongs to me. Like, we will do that. So I think sometimes we have to put aside the words and go into the reality of self. And the reality of self will reveal everything you need to know if you just sit still and ask. That's one of the most powerful spiritual principles you can ever do, right? Even the Bible says, ask and ye shall receive. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and the door shall be open. And it says it concurrently. Ask is A, seek is S, knock is K, A-S-K. Ask. Sometimes it's just about sitting down and saying, where am I going? But we want to go into a relationship and we want to be fulfilled. What is the process of cultivating intimacy for ourselves so that we have this well of intimacy in order to dispense to others? Most of us haven't cultivated that well inside, internally. We go into the relationship thirsty, parched. I ain't had it. Nobody ain't treated me right. Things ain't went well. And they come in with this yearning and this demand to be filled up. How do we fill our own intimacy cup? Can we talk about that?
Yeah, I did another book called Hope Rising, and I included in it doodles, drawings that I had drawn during the time when I was coming unstuck from my relationship with my husband and then from the lover. And every one of these drawings, I'm going to try to find them and show them to you, are of a person who is so blended with another person that there was no way that we could come unstuck. That we were absolutely, look at that.
Enmeshed.
We were enmeshed.
Yes.
We were a two-headed monster at a certain point. Look at that. I did not, look at that. I did not know how to be a part. I became that other person. I was so needy. I was so half a person. We say, my better half. I think that's really not a good thing to say myself. I think we want to be two whole people who come together and hold hands moving forward. You don't want to be so broken that you think you can complete yourself with someone else. You can certainly grow radically and do wonderful things with another person. But what is that intimacy? That's yes, sexuality certainly can be a key to intimacy, but that, to your point about the spiritual nature of who and how we are, and there are ways that we can open ourselves to that which is infinite around us, through meditation. And did you do that with Krishnamurti? Was that a part of?
He was gone when I was.
No, I don't mean that. Literally, yes. 100 years ago. Sorry. Did you learn from the spirit of Krishnamurti? Did he?
No, I did practice meditation. I got into Kriya Yoga. So that's Paramahansa Yogananda, self-realization. And I got really deep into that lineage of gurus. And I loved meditation up until the point where now there's no practice. If you can just sit down and tap in, before it was a struggle, and that's why I loved Krishnamurti's definition of meditation. It was like, if you're trying to do it, you're not doing it. Like, you cannot force thoughts away. You have to allow them to be there to the point where they go on about their business.
Love that.
Right?
I love that.
Right? Because sometimes these thoughts, they're intrusive and they hijack the attention. But because life is such a rat race, right? And then when you add in social media and the internet and all of these distractions, it becomes very difficult to be able to just center the mind. And on top of that, if you've been hurt, if you've been wounded, some kind of way, childhood trauma, dysfunctional family, all of that stuff can play a role to where you might find yourself ruminating on the negative thought, on the intrusive thought. Meditation allows you to say, that's all right. It happened. It only lives in this moment because you're thinking about it. The moment you stop by allowing, listen to the way I frame that, stop by allowing. Many of us try to hit the brakes on the thought, and that's exceedingly difficult, probably even impossible. The only way you can stop the thought is to allow the thought, and then it'll go away.
Did you write about this in your book?
Absolutely.
Which one?
The one I'm working on right now.
Yeah,
I don't want to tell the topic. I haven't given away the title for this new book.
No. But that's the one that's coming up, so we have to buy that one. Okay.
Yes.
I'm buying it. If I were to talk to your partner, you feel like every woman out there, and probably every man, wants to be you because it feels like you have such great relationships because you. No, don't tell me that. No. Please.
No, ma'am.
No.
I think this is how I learned this, by failing in relationships. Like, I don't think, first and foremost, I don't think I know enough about relationships to consider myself some type of savant, right? Which is why when Tavis brought me here, I said, I'm not an expert. I cannot be an expert of your experience, right? I can talk about my experience and what I've extrapolated out of it, but I can never be the expert of someone else's experience. So for me, relationships have been difficult because what I've found is because they think, oh, you got it, so it's on you to keep it and maintain it, and I have this high expectation of you, and I'll pedestalize. Don't do that. Don't take my humanity away. And I think that's been one of the most difficult aspects of being in relationships, is first and foremost, we don't know how to relate to another human. We relate to expectations fulfilled. You see, right? I didn't sign up for this. What is this?
Wait a minute.
Right. So when it's time to deal with the humanity of your partner, that's grounds for breakup.
And is humanity the definition for you? Is that warts and all, or the fact that we're all doing our best, but we're not perfect? What's your definition of humanity?
When I say a human being, I'm talking about something that is complete spiritually, but incomplete psychologically.
Ooh.
Do you see?
Okay.
So the psychological incompleteness is the fact that we have not reconciled our template, our model.
Yeah.
That has not been dealt with adequately. Spiritually, we are infinite.
Yeah.
Spiritually, we are one
We're
with
perfect.
Source.
We are perfect.
But the moment you identify with what happened to you, and you elevate that wound to authorship of relationship expectations, now you have to play it out in relationships. You know, I've always said God gives you what you want so he can teach you how to want more, how to want better. Right?
Or God gives you what you need. You know,
you
may
want
not
that?
What you want.
Here you go. You can have
Yeah,
that.
whoa, go for it, yeah.
And then when you get it, you go, hey.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, you got it now. It's too late, right? Learn through it. Grow through it. And all of this can translate, right, into the intimacy part.
Yeah.
Most of us need safety. No one ever stops and says, why? No one, it's like, it has to be a safe space in order to say how you really feel. Or it has to be a safe space in order to connect. It has to be a safe space in order to be intimate. Why? Because all of us, most of us, are in fear. According to Dr. David R. Hawkins, author of the book Power versus Force, he says everybody on the planet Earth, or not everybody, he says about 99.9% of the planet Earth is vibrating at the conscious level of fear. And so when I come in and say, well, wait a minute, this is why trust is so important. This is why loyalty is so important. This is why ownership in relationship is so important. We together. You belongs to me. You understand?
That's scary.
Why? Because most of us didn't belong to our caregiver. Right? Psychologically. Like if you have an emotionally distant father, I'm going to make sure you have your backpacks, your pencils, your books, your lunch. But I'm not going to open up my heart and let you see me. That's intimacy. See into me. So if you couldn't see into your primary caregiver, and they block that from you, they're sending you into the world with the expectation of that. I need that because I didn't get that. Do you know how bad the sex is going to be after a certain time? In the beginning, it's going to be great because it's toxic. Oh, it's going to be delicious. But then after a while, you're going to be like Kathy, like, oh, Lord, what did I get myself into? Lord have mercy.
But I think you nailed it. I actually think you nailed it. Yeah. You know, you're used to getting that nothing, as it were, the lack of intimacy. And you go for what is maybe what you're used to. And then you're empty, you're hollow inside. And then I was hollow inside for a long, long time. And I looked for the intimacy in all the wrong places too.
But the answer is never the reflection.
Yeah, exactly. You have to go inside.
Right.
Yeah.
So we've turned the reflection into the supplement. This is the spiritual supplement. I didn't get this when I was young, so whoever comes into my life must supplement it. And I'm saying, no, that's not how it works. You have to manifest it within yourself.
Because it's a bottomless pit otherwise. There's no way that's going to fill you up.
That's codependence.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
not love. That's attachment.
Yep.
What did Buddha say about attachment?
You don't want it.
It is the source of suffering.
Yeah.
When we come forward, the voice of reason, I promise, callers, I'm coming to you. I promise. Hey, before I leave, let me just say this. I got 2 tickets to give away, or or a pair of tickets to give away to the 21st annual City of Gardena Jazz Festival, Sunday, August 25th. If you want these tickets, call me right now, 1-800-920-1580. I'm going to be at the Jazz Fest. You should be there too. Get the tickets now.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. Tavis is like George and Wheezy. He's moving on up. Last year, Tavis was number 45 on the Talkers Magazine list of the 100 most important radio talk show hosts in America. Wait for it. Wait for it. The 2024 list was recently released, and Tavis has jumped to number 33 on the list of the nation's most important talkers, making him the highest-ranked African-American on the coveted roster. Congratulations to Tavis Smiley from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580. We've got you black.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Did you know your life insurance is an asset you can sell? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. For almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. And at abacuspays.com, we've created a free policy value calculator so you can find out the worth of your policy in just seconds. There are no fees and no obligations. Get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Learn more at abacuspays.com.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I think beauty's overrated. Cause that's something anyone can be. Yeah. Attraction, now that's something different. And thankfully you're both to me.
What does intimacy mean to you? You just think about sex or physical closeness? If so, you're missing out on so much more. With the loneliness epidemic going on, we as a society have lost touch with what true connection, closeness, intimacy, and belonging mean. True intimacy is a deep connection on multiple levels with someone you feel close to, enjoy being with, and can confide in. It gives real meaning to our relationships, friendships, and unions. Without it, our connections lack depth. To truly enjoy friendship, love, or companionship, we need 8 different kinds of intimacy. Physical intimacy. Physical intimacy isn't just about sex. It's the comforting touch that makes us feel loved, appreciated, and safe. Like holding your partner's hand while strolling through the park, sharing a long, warm hug when you greet each other after work, or the simple pleasure of cuddling on the couch during a movie night. According to a study by Sarakovska et al., close physical contact helps release oxytocin, the love hormone, which strengthens our bond and makes us feel secure. Emotional intimacy. Emotional intimacy involves sharing your deepest thoughts and feelings with someone you trust. Late night talks about your dreams and fears, and confiding in your partner or a close friend about what's bothering you create a safe space for understanding and self-awareness, and allows you to be yourself without fear or judgment. In fact, according to a study by Hakubiak and Fine, 2017, partners who can openly share their feelings, thoughts, and needs are usually happier in their relationships because they feel heard and understood. Experiential intimacy. You know those moments you remember vividly? The ones that make you smile? Like inside jokes with friends and coworkers or unforgettable times with family. They highlight the importance of experiential intimacy. Through shared experiences, you're literally creating...
Man, that's good stuff.
That's really good.
That's good
I
stuff.
want to know the other 6.
That's good stuff. I'm gonna have to get you the link. I love it. We're on fire tonight. You know how the voice of reason does up in here Monday through Thursday. Nothing but hot lava topics. And it's not over. I hope we gave those tickets away, Andy, to the 21st annual Gardena, City of Gardena Jazz Festival, Sunday, the 25th. If you want the tickets and we gave them away, we're good. Great. Awesome. Now I got callers on the line. who have been on the line and they want to talk. So let's bring them into this discussion. I know you guys have been listening. We've been pontificating ad infinitum. So now it's time to bring in our callers from all over the country to contribute to tonight's topic. Ronan, Indianapolis, get in here.
Hey, what's going on, people?
What's up, brother? What are your thoughts on tonight's topic, my friend?
Yeah, but I've experienced intimate stonewalling before.
Intimate stonewalling? Come on.
Oh, that's rough. That's rough. That's not fair. Oh, man.
Oh, I knew you were. That's why you hung on the line. I knew you were going to hit us upside the head. Intimate stonewalling. Please elaborate.
Well, I mean, we had a intimate impasse because actually some people try to weaponize sex. They treat it as a treat or a means of control. So in learning that, it learns like there's a break in communications. So the first thing I learned to do is like take my hand off the emotional deadbolt.
That's really vivid. I can see that.
Keep going, Ronan. Yeah. Keep going.
So in doing that, you try to get to the bottom of things. Not just you're looking for the end result, but you want to see where the break of communication is. Because it could be something external, something internal, and you don't just do that for other people. You got to do that for yourself too.
That's heavy, brother. That's heavy. But let me ask you, have you been in a sexual desert in one of your relationships? The sexual Sahara?
Well, the thing is, someone tried to put me under yoni rations. But the thing is, like, when it comes to that, it has to be worth waiting for. It can't be disrespectfully bad.
You can't phone it in, as they say.
Right. But what I'm saying is when that happened to you, was it some type of punishment, or was it something where she needed the space or whatever and her energy wasn't right, she wasn't vibing? Because sometimes we have to make space for that too. Because oftentimes we'll just be on what we're on at the time and what we want and what we desire. And I think sometimes you can build intimacy when you can respect the need to separate, right? I need some space. I need to get my mind together or my emotions together. Was it that kind of situation, or was it I'm going to control you with this kind of situation?
Well, it was like being in I say, serving time with a control freak.
You stay right there. Right there, Ronan. You stay right there. When we come forward, we're going back to Indianapolis. I knew you was going to do this.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. New York City Mayor Eric Adams is looking to take action following reports of a number of random attacks on women in the city. When asked about it, the mayor said many of the attackers are dealing with mental health issues, and his administration is pushing to get them removed from the streets. Adams, who is black, says he's speaking with crime prevention officers about doing some public service announcements on safety tips. The mayor's staff recommends women carry pepper spray, and he's looking at offering free martial arts courses for women. Pay raises are a part of Montgomery, Alabama's new city budget. Black Mayor Stephen Reed presented a budget plan of more than $330 million this week, which is a jump of 6.5% over the current fiscal year. That increase includes a 15% raise for police officers. All city employees will receive a 5% cost of living adjustment. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
Be sure sure to follow us on Instagram at KBLA 1580.
Follow the leader.
Are you ready?
The station leading the way with exclusive interviews,
Follow the leader.
stimulating conversation, and intellectual discourse that empowers, enlightens, and informs.
Follow the leader.
Follow the leader at KBLA 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Keep following the leader.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
If we're the ones disproportionately impacted by these climate catastrophes, why should we be silent? Turning up the volume all year long on the climate conversation for KBLA Talk 1580.
Support comes from Getty, presenting Memnon, a world premiere theatrical event under the stars. Memnon tells the tale of a powerful Ethiopian king who fights alongside Troy during the city's darkest hour. This epic Greek myth has been overlooked for over a millennium. Until now. Memnon is co-produced by the Classical Theater of Harlem, Thursdays through Saturdays this September at the Getty Villa Museum. Tickets are available now at getty.edu.
Watch out! You got me!
The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
And now Martha Stewart for Skechers. When I make a dish or embark on a craft project, I always use the finest, most fabulous ingredients and materials. Which is why, when it comes to footwear, I love Skechers. Because Skechers is the comfort technology company and uses the most luxurious, innovative materials and designs to make wondrously comfortable footwear with all the fits and features like Arch Fit and Skechers' world-famous air-cooled memory foam. It's exactly the way I'd make shoes.
Find Skechers at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery on select smart beds when you add any base. Limited time. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Texting enrolls you into
reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text LION to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text LION to 42424. That's LION to 42424.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
It can seem a highly trivial subject to get so upset about, being rightly no more significant than who should open the door first or open a new jam jar first. And yet, judging from the heartache it tends to generate, it appears to matter very much indeed. It's at the root of many affairs. It is the catalyst for vicious arguments and bitterness. The long-term future of small children can be decided by it, and couples routinely end up in therapy, or more often the divorce courts, because of it. At the heart of the drama are all the complexities involved when late at night, in the darkness, one person's hand moves over to tentatively touch the other's body in a way that signals a desire to initiate either sex or a cuddle, and nothing much happens in return. This move ends up being so much more fraught than one might imagine because it has so little to do with making love. It is about knowing that we are wanted. The willingness to initiate sex can appear like the litmus test of whether one is appreciated within the relationship as a whole, and therefore whether a couple remains a going concern or not. For one person never to initiate, or else merely to respond half-heartedly to caresses, is tantamount to declaring that they cannot possibly love the person they are with. In truth, a lack of initiation or response can mean many things. It may, at points, simply be a sign of exhaustion after a long day of childcare or work at the office. Sometimes an untouched hand is just an untouched hand. The real problem in the ambiguous darkness of the bedroom is not a lack of reciprocation per se. It is the way that that ambiguity is interpreted, the way that assumptions are formed without discussion and grave offences taken without the topic having first been aired. Beneath this lies a more pernicious problem still: shame. Unreciprocated touch becomes properly dangerous when it comes into contact with a high degree of self-suspicion or self-hatred on the part of the person who has dared to slide their hand across. What might merely have been judged an innocent or temporary lack of enthusiasm comes to be taken, silently and automatically, as evidence of something far more catastrophic, proof that the other person finds us disgusting.
That's a bit of a...
That was heavy.
That was heavy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man, can you imagine? And I'm pretty sure many people can imagine.
Yeah.
Being head over heels in love with someone who doesn't want you. And if you've modeled any of that in childhood, it's going to take you right back. Like, it's heavy, man. Ronan, Indianapolis. You were on fire when we came forward. Now we have come full circle. You know I got to get your final thoughts on this. Come on.
Okay, so in that situation, I knew I had to come face to face with this unresolved issue of codependency. So we just he said, like, when you were deeply in love with the idea of a person, because like you were trying to be intimate with somebody, but when they're married to their negative narrative, there is no room for you. You're just a face.
Wait, hold on. You can't speed through that, Speed Racer. What'd you say? Married to a negative narrative. Please expound on that. My God.
So every attempt to try to be intimate with this person, like see the positive in them, show them great things that you like about them, it was returned with spite. It was returned with a lot of vitriol and everything like that. They would turn cold on you. And it get to the point where you might as well make love to a lukewarm burrito. But when it came down to it,
sorry,
growing up.
You're good. I love his language.
He's a star on this show right now. Go ahead.
It's incredible.
So when it came down to it, having not dealt with the whole thing with being raised by emotional terrorist, a narcissist of a mother, you start mirroring those patterns in your relationships, where you deal with substandard treatment, where you deal with substandard, I guess, means of reciprocity. It'd be a 90-10 situation.
Wait, hold on. You putting a lot of paint where it ain't. So let's just get right to it, man. This is
okay.
Aren't you describing like 99.9% of everybody, though? Again, I think it boils down to most people have never been taught. Just like you hear economists say, most people are never taught how to make money in school, or how to manage money, or how to do. You hear economists say this all the time, right? But nobody teaches us in school or in the home how to be with a human being. We're taught to be with human doings. Do for me. What can I get? This is what I signed up for. This is the outcome I'm looking for. Do you understand? We've never been able to sit in comfort, even with our own primary caregivers, our mothers, our fathers. We will sit with them and we will see things, especially when we come to a certain level of consciousness, we will see things and we'll go, that's terrible. You're really like that? But because their mom and because their dad or cousin or brother or sister, we might dislike it, but there's still this familial connection that says, well, that's what I got. You can't pick your family. But you wind up taking some of this stuff into your adult relationship because this is your norm, right? This is not only your norm, but your known. This is what you know.
Yes.
Go ahead, brother.
Well, I mean, to get down to it, I had to really have to have those uncomfortable conversations with the reflection in the mirror. First, I had to learn how to not just address myself, but I had to learn how to forgive myself.
Come on.
Then I had to learn how to relearn myself, and then kind of teach myself how to receive not just compliments, but like the treatment that you aspire to have. So once you set that standard from the ground up, now you know how to maneuver, because just because you start a certain way doesn't mean you have to finish a certain way.
All right, man. You cooking with olive oil. This is that high-grade olive oil. You done mixed it with a little grapeseed oil. Boy, Ronan, guess what you just did, my brother?
Bro, Indianapolis back in the building.
Indianapolis is in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. We got callers on the line. Nazarene X, Atlanta, Georgia. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
I might need to take a whole walk tonight. Honestly, shout outs to Kathy.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, girl.
Thank you, sir. I'm fascinated by this man, I have to tell you.
love. And look, the way that you have opened the floor and have expressed and shared your own experiences and all, like, again, just thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your voice with the Voice of Reason here tonight. Lord have mercy. Look, remember how Cat Williams said, you either small and got big, or you was big and got small.
Mm-hmm.
The stress we've been through is like stretch marks. Either way, I love you.
Wow.
You did.
Man, I appreciate that, nephew. I do.
No question.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you for always being down with the program. You know that. So
Already,
but you got to do it right this time. Guess what you just did?
ATL.
Atlanta is in the building because of Nazarene X. When we come forward, Inglewood up to no good. We gonna talk about it. Let's get it.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
Tips to help improve basic steps for building a budget in 2024. Building a budget can help you achieve and reach your financial goals. With a budget, you can keep track of your spending, avoid and get out of debt, limit overspending, pay bills on time, and build solid savings habits. What's the best way to get started? Figure out how much to set aside for expenses, like rent, mortgage, bills, groceries, and entertainment. Understanding your past financial habits can help you make the proper adjustments for your budget. Adjusting to a budget can take time as you work to find the right balance, but keep working on it. For more financial health tips, visit chase.com or stop by a local branch. This segment is sponsored by J.P. Morgan Chase & Company.
Looks like Bobby needs a ride again.
Grab the keys. Let's take our auntie to the swap meet. Grab the keys.
Whether you're giving rides or hauling gear, do it all in a Chevy SUV. Head to your local Chevy dealer, where well-qualified buyers get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Malibu, Colorado, Blazer, Equinox, Trailblazer, and Traverse limited models. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
1.9% APR for 36 months. Monthly payment is $28.60 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment 15.8% must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 7/1/24.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chuchas opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chuchas Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
On the drums, Chris Dave. On the bass is Vicente Archie. And the man himself. Please put your hands together. The Robert Glasper Trois.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Voice of Reason. You already know my playlist is my co-host. And tonight we have been featuring the amazing, eclectic sounds of Robert Glasper. Man, you know, Robert Glasper is a mood. I don't even drink wine, but when I hear his music, I think Moscato. You know, that's some of the wines that women drink, right? I don't drink anything. So order me a Moscato on the rocks. Do they come on the rocks? No? You don't drink it on the rocks? Okay. Yes, I'll have a Chardonnay. Yes. But that's the vibe he produces. And you already know my playlist is my co-host, and I love putting together songs and soundscapes that fit the topic. And I think we did a good job tonight. We've got callers on the line. Morris from Inglewood. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic, Morris?
Hey, that music, man, big time romantic. Big time romantic. You're going to get busy, that's the kind of music you play. But I want to share this with you. You know, you talk about relationships, okay? Chemistry's always pretty good to get a nice little chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Understand that you're going to be putting in some work. Mm-hmm. You're going to be putting in some work. It's always good if you got a little bit of maturity to yourself and got good self-control. If you're bringing them things to the table, then a relationship will go a little bit further. And I would suggest to most men, let her talk and be interested in what she's talking about. And she'll appreciate you more, in my opinion. You know, everybody can do the sex thing, but if you listen to them and be interested in what they're talking about, try to take the load off of them, they'll stay with you. You know, that's been my experience. But that's all I wanted to add to the topic.
Come on, Morris. If you don't come in here with the wisdom we've been looking for, thank you, brother.
I love this man. Morris, you are absolutely right.
Morris said, you better listen. Hey, thank you, man. You brought Inglewood in the building. We appreciate the call. Let me get my brother, Heru Ali, Battle Creek, Michigan, in the building. Talk to us, man. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Peace and love to the Film Nation's Honor Soul, our esteemed guests, Andy, and everybody in the chat. 18 years ago, when I was caring for my mother, she had been in the hospital, unconscious for about a year. And one night on the TV, Dateline NBC had a piece called Sexless Marriages. Now, these were couples who were, you know, professional couples, had children and all of that, but they were in a sexless marriage. And there were 3 couples that were selected. They went to a special retreat, and the counselors said that, listen, at the end of the day, you don't need a new toy or a new technique. You need truth. And the truth is that they were, after they got together, they got married, they were afraid to reveal to their significant other what they desired sexually. It could have been all kind of kink, all kind of, you know, polygyny. It could have been whatever, because they feared that they would make their spouse feel like they weren't enough. And the counselor said, it's not about you not being enough. It's about individual desires.
That's very wise.
You know, we have been inculcated and colonized to be outside of our nature. Monogamy is not natural for Black men.
Talk to us. Let's. You already know this is non-judgmental space. Please keep talking. We'll go deeper.
Absolutely, it's scientific. So listen, it's just not natural. So what happened in this hit piece? They revealed reluctantly each couple what they desired, and they had a weekend to explore all of their sexual desires, whether it was with someone else and all of them cuck or whatever it was. And then it absolutely, the truth of it, they said, you don't need a toy, you don't need another technique, you need a truth.
So are you saying, let me ask you a question. Brother. Are you saying truth is one of the seeds for developing and cultivating intimacy, true intimacy?
Absolutely. Truth is so expensive that we barely purchase it for ourselves.
Ooh. Wait a minute. Why do you say truth is so expensive that we barely purchase it for ourselves? Go deeper. Please expound on that thought.
Because everywhere you go, there you are. Listen, the most expensive place for you to be is in your own mind.
Okay.
To examine the past pains and what you feel you. Well.
Yeah, we had to give you the organs. We had to give you the organs now. If you're going to do it for real, Reverend.
Turn to your neighbor. Listen, truth is so expensive, we rarely give it to ourselves. It's like, listen, we've been so taken out of our true nature that the truth to us as works in progress, right? And our humanity, we reject that.
Wow. You know what you're going to make me do? You're going to make me do a show on truth tomorrow. And I'm going to call it Truth as a Treat. It's a treat.
My brother,
sometimes we can
You're absolutely right. Our part 2 is definitely warranted. Listen, I've experienced this myself. I came home from watching that documentary. I said, I'm going to go home. And one of the requirements were that since that retreat was a safe space, whatever your partner said, you couldn't take it personal like you weren't enough. You were allowing them, because we know that folks stay married 10, 20 years. Once the kids go off to college, they divorce. Why do they divorce? Because they never had the chance to express what they truly desire, because they didn't want to hurt their spouse's feelings and make them think that they weren't enough. Peace and love to the family of nations.
Bro.
I love y'all. Please stay safe and dangerous. Part 2, I know it's coming.
It's coming. Hey, we appreciate you. Heru Ali on complete fire. Let me just do this because we only have a few seconds remaining. I just want to talk to Kathy for a second about creative visions. Can you just, you know, Tavis, come on, talk to us just a little bit.
I love storytellers, and I've loved this evening. Creative Visions is dedicated to helping people tell stories that need to get out there in the world, so we wake up and we get involved in things that are going to make our world a better place.
Wow.
Check us out, creativevisions.org. Can't wait.
There it is. Hey! I'm the voice of reason, and I'll be back here tomorrow, which is my Friday, with another slapper. Holla at me!
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from